Well, let's now bring in founder and executive director, Live Abundantly, Dr. Ama Onyerinma. He joins me for more on the abduction of the Chibok schoolgirls 7 years on. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10. Well, a child born 7 years ago would at this time be in, say, basic 3. It shows how much time these girls have been away from their family and from what the future should actually hold for them. What is the reaction to how we have managed the situation?
Well, as you spoke and I listened to the data that you were running off, it was quite distressing and reprehensible that we're still talking about the Chibok girls and all the children that continue to be abducted from their schools. We've always wanted to believe that being at home and being at school should be the safe places for children, and to know that they're being removed from what is considered a safe place is very troubling. At this point in time, really increased steps must be taken to continue to educate our children. Having the children removed from school or closing down the schools doesn't really help, because we're going to end up with a generation of children that have lost out on learning. So it is very important that the government and communities come together and figure out how they can educate the children from home, whether it's informally or using virtual classrooms. But for them to lose out on education is very troubling. Now, for those that have been rescued and those that are still in captivity, I am very concerned about their psychological well-being. And, what happens is the children come home, the parents are afraid, the children are afraid, they don't go back to school. Some end up getting married at a very young age, which goes back to child marriage. And others just don't have a chance to thrive.
Indeed, it's a whole lot that is at a stop when a child isn't educated. And Amnesty International has mentioned that about 600 schools have been closed in Nigeria as a result of insecurity. Talking about the Chibok girls, the publicity that their abduction garnered is believed to have made the insurgents see them as assets that could be used to get whatever they wanted from government. So going forward with the push for a new hashtag until all are free campaign, how would you suggest we go about this?
Well, at this point in time, it has to be more than a campaign. There have to be actionable steps taken. Having slogans does not help to release the girls and does not get the message across. I think many people have become, for lack of a better word, tone deaf, because it continues and it continues, and you can only take so much of it. Parents are worried, communities are worried, even children are worried. Children should not have to worry about how they get to school and how they come back. So things have to be come into place whereby the safety of the children in school, getting to school, being in school, and being able to get home safely is important. When parents drop off their children at school or children make their way to school, we always hope and want our children to come home. So several years ago, the Safe School Initiative was started in 2014. I don't think that initiative is in effect anymore, and it all goes back to accountability. We need to be accountable for the things that we say we're putting in place to support our students, our children, to keep them safe, to keep the community safe.
All right, Dr. Onyerinma, it's a great way to end the conversation. Founder and Executive Director, Live Abundantly, Dr. Ama Onyerinma. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10.
Thank you for having me.